Right, today's interview, we've got someone who has a connection to Gary Numan, but not directly. Now, if you cast your mind back to the Metal Rhythm Tour, 88, one of the gigs in that was filmed at the Hammersmith Odeon, and it was released a year later as a Skin Mechanic video. But what sticks in most people's minds about that video, because it was also shown on ITV network, but what people remember about that, it's not Gary Numan's Cockney accent during Our Friends Electric, which was fantastic, it has to be said, but the fact that it was an old man in the crowd, and no one ever knew who he was, and something that always puzzled a lot of Gary Numan fans and myself. But I've managed to do a bit of research into that. I found out who he was. His name was Norman Heseltine, but sadly Norman passed away in 2011 at a nursing home up in just outside Blackpool. But we've managed to get you find his grandson. His grandson's called James Grahamson, and James has kindly decided to speak to us today. So, hello James, how are you? I'm very well, thanks. So, James, how on earth did your granddad get into Gary Numan? Oh, it was through my mum. She was one Christmas he bought her album, dance album, and she was into like soft cell and stuff like that, Duran Duran, but he thought she'd like that as well, and she didn't, so he kept it, and he listened to it, and he loved it, and he started going to see Gary Numan after that, going to gigs and stuff. My mum thought this was hilarious, so he, he's like, he was like, because before that he'd been listening to the likes of George Formby, Vera Lynn, stuff like that. So yeah, it was quite surprised. My mum was really surprised with it. Wow, okay. And so I take it you've seen that video, the Gary Numan Skin Mechanic video. Yeah, my mum's got that. She watches it all the time. That was like, we started watching that, and because it was a good keepsake. It was a nice bit of film when he was pretty fit and well, and it was a nice keepsake because my dad, my granddad passed away in 2011, and yeah. So, was your grandfather, was he from London, or was he, because you've got a northern accent, mate. Yeah, he was from London. He lived in, where was it he lived now? Lambeth, I think it was. And he, but when my mum, she moved up north, after she finished college, and she got a job up there, and she married me. My dad's from Manchester, so that's how we're up here. Okay, and did your granddad ever get to meet Gary Numan then? No, he never mentioned it. He used to go home after gigs and stuff like that. He wouldn't hang around, because he was still, his wife was still alive at that time, so he he never really, he just bought the albums, went to the gigs, I remember Gary Numan saying that's all he should do. And now he charges an hour a leg for these meet and greet things. Sorry, we're getting off track there. That's okay. And I mean, are you a Gary Numan fan then? Did that rub off on you at all? No. I mean, I like my dance music, but not Gary Numan. I mean, I suppose there's a couple of tracks I like, but I wouldn't say that he was my favourite or anything like that. My mum liked some things by him, And at Grandad's funeral, we had they played Replicas as the that was one of his favourites. They played that as in the church light, and so he was still a fan right to the end. In the end, then, oh yeah, I mean that nursing home where I was in, they he was always listening to that, and some of the other people in us would get a bit annoyed with it, actually. To be quite funny, he used to go there. And so when you used to go visit your granddad in London, did he make you listen to Gary Numan? He did sometimes. I remember once, like, he was, we were sat there, and we were going to go out, and I said, he said, where do you want to go? And I said, he said, do you want to go? I'll give you a choice of three. He said, swimming, park, or cinema. And I went, park. And he's like, all right. And then we were ready to go, and then I just said, no, I don't want to go to the park, I want to go swimming. And he started singing Change Your Mind, because that was it at the time. And so any time that you'd mention something, he would get a Gary Numan song into his conversation. It's brilliant, mate. What a story. He did, like, I remember when me brother got married, he came to a wedding and he wore, like, the suit on, like, from the Fury album. What? He went to a wedding wearing blue hair and blue... No, that's the other one. You're thinking of the Berserker album. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm always getting mixed up with those two. So he wore... Oh, right, yeah, I know what you wore to when now, yeah. Yeah, so it was like, the bow tie and white shirts and stuff like that. But very few people they knew at the wedding, particularly my brother's family. They didn't know who Gary Numan was, to be honest with you. Right, okay. I mean, would you... did he ever take you to any of the gigs? No, I was too young back then when he started touring. I mean, I've never been to see him. I mean, as I say, I'm not really a huge fan of that type of stuff. I like more like my dance music, like Technotronic, stuff like that. 808 State, all that shit. So I like that type of thing. Right, okay. Never really floated my boat, to be honest with you. Well neither's Gary Numan for me. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm joking now. I mean, I did like some tracks that Grandad played to me. I liked that one, something about Rhythm of the Evening. Oh, yeah. It's from Warriors. Yeah, I like that album, because that was one we used to play in car. I remember when one time we were going to London for our holidays, and Grandad came up to Manchester to pick us up, and we went down in car, and on the way down he played about 6 Gary Numan albums, and it was quite funny because we were coming out and we were humming some tunes, and he's like, you must like Gary Numan, and we found that quite funny. But yeah, that was good days. Yeah. So, well, that DVD, the Skin Mechanic one, came out on DVD a couple of years ago. Did you get that? Yeah, I did. We watched that quite a bit. Actually, I think those backing singers were pretty hot back then, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, they were scorchers, weren't they, mate? Whoa! Wouldn't mind going to a gig with them. Yeah, I agree with that. So what do you do, mate? What do you work as? Well, I work up Manchester. I've got my own printers company, so I do stationery, stuff like that, and been doing that a number of years. I did an apprenticeship when I left school, and then I just started up my own business. It's mainly online, so if you would care, I mean, I wouldn't mind you posting a link. You did agree, you'd say you'd put a link at the bottom of this video when it goes out. I'd really appreciate that, mate. Right, no worries, I can do that. So, all right, yeah, you said that you liked the tune Rhythm of the Evening. Do you have any other favourite Gary Numan songs? I like that, the one album, Automatic, one did with Bill Sharp. I like that a lot, because that was like quite poppy. Used to listen to that quite a bit. me and my sister, and yeah, that's a great album, like Rip It Up and stuff like that. And sometimes it was quite funny if Grandad was listening to that in the car, and we were being noisy in the back of the car, he would actually go zip it up, to the tune of Rip It Up, which I thought was quite funny. So I've got to. It goes like, I've got to rip it up, and he was going, you two better zip it up, and we thought that was hilarious, What a story! What a great story! Oh dear, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, have you seen that? Because his new album's going to hit the charts. What do you? Yeah, I've seen that. I read about that. Because I saw some of the new stuff he's doing. I don't like really. It's a bit. Like gothy for me. I think all those goths are a bit weird looking. You know what I mean? Although I like some of the clothes the girls wear. The goth girls wear. They're quite nice. But no, it's not really my cup of tea. Really, doesn't do nothing for me. But I mean, I would maybe consider going seeing them because my girlfriend, she likes all sorts of music. So we might go see him in concert, and then I might say to Gary afterwards, my granddad was in a skin mechanic video, and see what he says. Well, he probably has charge you to ask him now these days. With the meet and greet thing. Yeah. Oh, he's a bit tight-fisted with that type of stuff. Because remember, you could speak to him. My mum said that, he was famous for that. You could go up and speak to him after gigs and stuff like that. And he'd all sign stuff for the fans, So he was, at school, one of my teachers was a Gary Numan fan. And I remember saying to, he was me science teacher, and I said to him, oh, you like Gary Numan? He says, do you know the Skin Mechanic video? And he seemed a bit surprised about that, because it wasn't one of his more famous ones, because usually you say to people that Gary Numan fans say old cars and stuff like that, but he was like, how do you know about that? And I was like, oh, my granddad. He's like, that's not the old guy. And I said, yeah. So he was really excited about that, and he was like, I think, I gave him my granddad's phone number, and he spoke to him, and they had a real long chat about Gary Numan and stuff like that. But yeah, so, I mean, you say like your dance music, do you go to many dance gigs? Oh, well, of course, the DJ, stuff like that, but, with this lockdown shit, you can't see fuck all, I'm sorry for swearing. No, it's alright, mate, I mean, yeah, I know what it's like. I mean, I'm really, really, missing me gigs, it's like, but hopefully they'll start back, yeah, meant to start back September, aren't they, mate? Yeah, hopefully, well, what else then can I ask you? Because you're different from some of the other people we've interviewed. There's no real direct link with Numan, so I don't know what else really to ask you. Let me think. So what is I mean, your granddad. So is he? Was he buried at Manchester, down in London? He's buried down in London because that's where he's most of his family are from. So he's buried there. Just my mum was up in Manchester, and his other children they live down in London, like Enfield, Tottenham, places like that. But I mean, I still go down to London to see my cousins and stuff like that, second cousins, things like that. So I like going down there. It's a nice place, really. A lot of nice people, a lot of nice scenery, stuff like that. And it's just 3 hours and down the train. So it's really good. I like going to London, stuff like that. Yeah. I like going to London. I mean, I live in there. I suck at myself, right? Yeah. Okay. So, you Man United fan or a Man City fan then? No, I don't like football, to be honest with you. Oh, okay. Well, it's been really nice speaking to you, James. And, your granddad is a legend. He'll always go down in the Gary Numan fans' history as being that guy who was in the crowd in the Skin Mechanic video. And what a great legacy to have. Yeah, it's great. I mean, Granddad was great. He was a right sweet guy, and the fact that people still remember him all these years later, just from that Gary Numan concert, was quite amazing. I mean, he probably went to that just thinking it was another concert, and yet, what's that, about 30 years, almost 30 years, and he's still remembered fondly, and that means a lot to me and family, particularly to my mum. She was really chuffed that I was doing this interview today. Oh God, I know she's got to listen to it, and I've sworn in it. Maybe you can edit that out for me. But but yeah, it's great speaking to you, and thanks, Steve, for inviting me on and sharing these fond memories of my granddad. Yeah, you're welcome, mate. No worries. Cheers.